Welcome to the Fran Snyder Podcast, brought to you by Listening Room Network, and thanks to our friends at TrueFire.com. Learn, practice, play. Today's guest, singer-songwriter Clanton. And we are off and running with Clanton. How are you?
I am well. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we were about to do a pre-interview, and we just said, "What the heck? Let's just go right into it." You're about to tell me a story about Durango and not being in Nashville.
Yeah. So
I think that was it.
Yeah. So it reminds me of this time in 2008 when the housing market crashed.
Yeah.
And all of the investment bankers came after my bartending job. And I was like, how is this possible? I mean, people literally woke up with my net worth and they were jumping out of buildings to their death. I just had a couple of friends. Actually, I think you might know Sarah Clanton. I think you might know her.
I do. We're going to get into the whole mermaid thing. You stepped into that.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, she and Andy Becky were just here. And they were just so excited to be in Colorado. And the reason why I'm here, I was still planning to be on tour right now. Yeah. But I have had a salon here for many years. So I have a lot of clients here. At least I can still support myself, that and live streams. Yeah. And I'll just say it reminds me of that housing market time, because now everybody wants to be a hairdresser in Colorado.
Yeah. Back to seriousness. You have some absolutely killer videos. It's a real joy to actually watch what you've put together on videos, when you can't say that about a lot of artists. So you put a lot of effort. You must have a great team or amazing editing your skills yourself. I don't know who's doing that, but it's really fun to watch your videos.
Thanks, Fran. The tool bag video, is the tool bag video part of this?
That's one of the ones that I've seen. Yeah. Yeah.
I worked with Taga Plantel on that, and it was so much fun. I mean, he's also I would say I'm pretty right-brained. He's really right-brained. Yeah. And we were just rapid fire ideas, and he was actually playing a little more devil's advocate. I was I'm going to take all my exes and stick them in my tool belt in the artwork. And he was hold up. Is this really the brand of feminism you want to promote? And I was I think I've earned the right to make the joke. And, that whole video is just a big joke. And I was telling someone last night, the tambourine solo, the whole song, the most important part of that whole song is that tambourine solo.
Well, yeah. And that's, that song, of all the stuff that I've seen of yours, kind of pushes the edges, which makes me think that you and I have a lot in common. I was kind of voted the guy most likely to take the joke too far. And I'm sure that video has pushed a few buttons with some more conservative folks. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely got some negative feedback, which was kind of I don't know. I mean,
and I don't mean politically conservative. I mean socially.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Most of my friends were I would not let my kids watch this. And I was really? I was I would, but I don't have kids, so maybe I wouldn't. But, I just forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. But it was a good point.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, sort of pushing people's boundaries a little bit on that one. What's great about you is that's not all that you do.
Thanks.
You got some, some serious lines that sort of level you emotionally a little bit, like Daddy of Mine and some of your other stuff. I don't know how many CDs you've done, but you've got some exceptional material right out the gate, seems like.
Fran, I remembered what I was going to say, which kind of leads into what you just said. I think when you've been trying to get people to pay attention to your art for a decade or more, you get to a point, and this might be an age thing too. This might be like, you know, a not in my 20s anymore thing. That's all I'll say. But like, you get to a point where, for me with Tool Bag, because I've been asked, like, why did you lead with that as the first single? It was like, even if I got bad reviews, it was still going to at least get people looking in the direction of the music, you know? And then I thought it was appropriate to make that the first single because it was the most offensive.
So tell me a little bit about the team. When you say you're releasing a single, like how much of this is you, how much of it is a manager or some folks helping you out?
Yeah. So I am a solo ninja Jedi.
Okay.
The team has evolved over time. At first it was a 2-man team. It was me and Megan Burt who produced the album. And I definitely relied on her for a lot of guidance. You know, she's pretty established in her career, and even her just making the record, for me, I was like, I can't believe she's going to take the time out of her life to do this. And it probably ended up being more time than she thought it was going to be. So once her job was done, I was like, okay, now I'm going to find a team. I ended up getting a grant from Colorado Creative Industries to pay for half of my fee for Sarah Frost. So Sarah Frost was my publicist.
Okay.
Because my other records are released under other monikers, I was, you know, relatively unknown, which was also a good thing, you know, because I really feel like this is a great breakout album. You know, it's a great breakout album.
Yeah.
Whereas I think my other albums they have some really good things about them, like the first record is Caitlin Cannon the Artillery, and the production's really great, but the songwriting was so green. And then the Cannon Dolls record, like, I think the songwriting's really interesting, but we kind of missed the production. So this was like the first record where I felt like what my artistic vision was starting to really actualize.
How did you connect with Megan? Like the production, I guess that's a gift that I didn't know she had. I've only known her as a singer-songwriter, and a wonderful one at that. Is this a new thing for her, or did she produce some other records that you appreciated and you said, yeah, I want to work with her?
So Megan and I have been friends for about a decade.
Okay.
And, you know, first time I actually met Megan, she was like 50 feet across from me in a field, and she was like, hi. Like, she doesn't remember that, but that's how it was. So I feel like there was some, like, I don't know, are we chips off the same block from another life or something? The music industry is very frustrating because it's so hard to make a living, even when you're somebody who's as talented as she is. And 10 years ago when I met her, you know, I was so green. She won the Rocky Mountain Folks Festival contest that year, and she just had something so different.
Yeah. So
I think her making the record was actually a little more of a friend resurrection, because she was like, you need to do this. And I was at a point where I was like, I will do whatever you say. You know more than me about this. I had a pretty specific ideas for like the kind of insurgent country record I wanted to make. Like I had all of my sound alikes for each song or influences I wanted to drag from. And of course we had a just really limited budget, you know. She had done a couple other records, like she did some records for John Statz, but I think that this was a big learning curve for her with me. Maybe it ended her career. I know. I just nominated her for, you know, I sent the CD to the Grammys, and I was like, I hope that she'll be happy that I nominated her for Producer of the Year. But she also did Shanna in a Dress, her record after mine, which isn't out yet. I have been telling Megan, like, stop producing records for other people. Like, thank you, but it's time for us to, you know, she's got so many amazing songs that just are so much better than anything you've ever heard from her. You know, like she's really like stepped into a new level of her artistry. Not that I ever meant to turn this into a podcast about Megan Burt.
Yeah. What's Megan's website? And that's Megan Burt with 2 T's. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, you got it.
So no, that's great. We've got plenty of time, and Megan certainly deserves all the praise that she gets. She's wonderful.
So what's interesting is that, like, you know, she's got that folk Well, I trusted her musicality. You know, it's just really different. Like she is just a very, very different. So I thought I was also like really frustrated with my all of my production experiences. So even though we went into this knowing, you know, you're never supposed to go into these kind of creative investments with your friends, you know, I think we both like knew what the challenges were ahead of us, and we ended up working really well together creatively. I have always wanted to bend the genre a little bit in terms of production, but it still came out sounding really like great studio album, you know, and then we're just not making that albums like that much anymore. You know, it's just really harder to do it because it's so expensive, and it's so hard to get them any visibility unless you have a label or unless Shooter Jennings produced it. So I just got really lucky that like I was able to, it was really Sarah Frost, my publicist, who was able to get it in front of some people, and Alice Wallace, who says hi, by the way. But Alice has been such a huge advocate for me. Like she's told more people about this record than I have.
That's great. That's great. We need people like that. I mean, you know, I'm great. Patting yourself on the back is a tough thing to do. It's always sounds a little more legit coming from somebody else. So
is the grossest feeling.
Yeah. 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 You know, and some people do it with such abandon, like you have to respect it. You just, you know, to do something that feels so icky to us. But did you tell me already, where are you from? I know you've got all these touch points. You've got Nashville, you've got Alabama, and you've got Colorado. Where are you from?
I was born in Alabama.
Okay.
And I lived there until I was 14. I went to high school in Colorado. Then I went to college in Missouri, and then I went to New York to be an actor. And then I decided it would be easier to be a folk singer in Colorado than to be an actor in New York. And then I like said that somewhere, and then somebody posted it in a review that I was making a mockery of country music because I'm really a folk singer from Colorado. And I was like, I was making a joke. It's just not easier. It's not easy to be a folk singer. Maybe if I tried to act it out a little, it would be better.
Well, your acting chops on the videos are pretty awesome. Megan will get the Grammy, and you'll get the Oscar. Yeah,
I do think I deserve an Oscar.
So when did you start making Nashville part of your routine or home?
Right around the time that I started writing the songs for the record, and like Megan and I were mapping it out. I started doing like 3 co-writes a week. You know, because I was an actor in New York in my 20s, like I've been very, very resistant to moving to Nashville to be a songwriter in my 30s. But I found out that there's a loophole for me. Like I did end up moving to Nashville. So now I effectively split before Corona, I'm there 2 weeks and I'm here 2 weeks. And I'm working on getting there full time. And I think it would have happened had we not had the pandemic, you know, make it so that I'm here full time instead. But
by the way, we're recording this in August of 1918. There's a huge pandemic. We can't get hay for our horses. It's a nightmare.
There's a plague. There's a plague afoot.
Just in case somebody's listening to this in the future.
Garlic around your neck. It was wear your garlic around your neck. You know, it wasn't wear.
So you're not fully in Nashville. You're multi-towning.
I'm multi-towning, and I mean, I'm hoping to be multi-towning a lot more once it's over, because I would like to tour the record. But I found this loophole to get myself to move to Nashville, and I decided that I'm really a comedian. So if I move to Nashville as a comedian, then I don't have to like completely keep reinventing myself as this cliche. And it kind of works, because at my shows, I really just talk until like a joke doesn't land, and then I play a song.
That's awesome. So you've transitioned into the live streaming pretty well. You've got this Married to Mondays series. Tell me how that evolved. At first it was like, oh, she's married. Well, no, there's a thread here. You have to unravel it.
People are so patient with me. You know, I was complaining to Alice that I the live stream is so frustrating because A, you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
B, your sound is bad no matter what. Like I'm trying everything I can. There's a big learning curve on that. But you know, if I were touring the record, I would be able to like hide my, you know, my weaker skills because I would be hiring people to cover up my bad guitar playing. But so Alice was like, we're just gonna like, you know, kill these demons in your head and you're just gonna do it and get up there and embarrass yourself. So I did. I started Married to Monday, and it's been really fun because it's something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. And so it's just 4 songs, not a huge time commitment, maybe 30 minutes with all the talking I do.
Four songs and some jokes.
Yeah, 4 songs and jokes. You know, I have a registry. I'm registered at Venmo and PayPal.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I love it.
And now I'm doing them on a theme. So far we've had the Shotgun Wedding. So I did all my prison songs in that one. And then the next one was, I think Runaway Bride.
Hang on, you could do 4 prison songs that each fit that
yes.
Can fit all 4 categories.
Yes, and so that's what's been really crazy is that I'm like, oh, wow, I really have enough material to do these themed weddings. Last night's theme was, it was Till Death Do Us Part, and I did all my murder ballad inspired stuff.
Nice.
And, you know, Something Borrowed gets to be a cover, so I covered Rose in Paradise by Waylon Jennings, and then Stacey Trombley was in there, who I think you know, and she came the week. Oh, she's a house concert person of some kind, and I've met her through the network. There's so many people you meet through digital life that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So there are some silver linings, but I promised I would throw the garter belt. So now, so last night I put a mask around my thigh. And then I threw it. I actually threw it. There wasn't anybody I could throw it at, so I threw it at this giant duck. Most people think he's a swan, but really he's an albino duck.
So where were you planning on going with the tour? Just not to rub salt in the wound, but like how extensive was the tour? Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I had set up like a couple full band shows per region, and then my bass player is Ben Lamb, and he people know him from being with Lydia Lovelace all those years.
People know him.
Yeah, he's the only. I mean,
he's kind of a big deal.
He's like kind of a bigger deal than me. He's like the only guy who like I've ever seen like rock a beer gut and a long hair 80s thrash metal headbang while playing an upright bass. Like it's
okay.
It's something.
Yeah, until you said upright bass, I was like that was the entire 80s, but now.
Like, that's been done many times. Yeah. And it really worked, you know, It really worked when I saw him play with her. And, you know, I opened for them once. So I was able to kind of make the connection when the record came out. I sent it to him. We ended up like playing some shows. You know, he is a very creative thinker. So it's really fun for me to talk to him like for hours in a van.
Somebody
had AC, but whatever.
Somebody was just asking me that the other day about touring, whether or not I got annoyed with chatty passengers, like, you know, whoever I was touring with. And I was like, yeah, truth be told, I was probably the one that was irritating, filling the gaps.
Isn't that one of life's great questions? Like, am I annoying or are they annoying?
Well, the thing for me, when I tour, I love extended periods of time of just listening to music. And when I'm listening to music, if I'm into the record, like shut it. Like I don't want to talk right now. If you want to talk, let's turn the CD off.
Yeah.
And let's talk. But
it's like when you're getting a massage and you're like, I hate that. You know, like it should just be understood that we're not talking now.
Yeah. So you're not trying to chat up your masseuse through the little hole.
now with the mask, it's even worse. It's like, you're trying to be polite. You can't breathe. You're hyperventilating.
That's
and
funny.
It's just, you'd rather hyperventilate than set the healthy boundary.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because I actually just had a massage like a week ago, and she did the cupping extravaganza on my back, and I looked like I was just unplugged from the Matrix for a week. Just these horrendous blue and red welts all over my back. I think she put them on. She put them on extra. So
probably worked.
It did. I who can tell if it was the handwork or the clay cups sucking the blood out of your
That
flesh.
That sounds like there's some very deep work.
Yeah. I'd had the cupping before, but I'd never seen my body respond that way. Just look seriously unplugged from the Matrix.
Wow.
But I felt better.
Whatever was in you is out now.
So before this record, had you done a bunch of touring, or had you just kind of put out records and played locally?
Yes and no. Like from 2012 to 2014, I was pretty much I'd left New York, so I was kind of on the road like a month at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And once I decided to take over the salon, I stopped doing that and just started playing locally, and still Four Corners, up in northern Colorado and down in New Mexico. I also switched my focus to try to figure out how to make music more attractive to film and TV licensors. So I'm a part of the Durango Songwriters Expo, which is in LA, and Colorado 3 times a year. So I started getting really into that. Okay, I'll take every single thing I know about writing a good song, and I'll do the exact opposite. and I'll make up a bunch of fake band names, and I'll try to pitch this to film and TV, because if what we want to do is tell stories and sing them to people and have them buy tickets to see us do that, you do have to figure out a way that you're going to supplement that isn't something that's going to make you hate your life or detract from your ability to do that, something that's not going to suck your time and energy. So trying to figure out how to crack the songs for money code in film and TV, at least I was still honing my craft. And I do think trying to write bad songs has made me better. Sometimes my songs can be really wordy and really complicated and really specific. And even though I welcome that for my artist project songs, I like to put my stamp on it, I still feel I have a better understanding of how to reach more people that way, because I've worked on trying to just be really, really cliche and universal.
So with TV and film placements, have you had some luck there, or are you still kind of at the beginning of that game and just still learning it?
I would say I didn't have any luck for a long time, but this year, my group Pop Knot had a song on The Hills and a song on Selling Sunset, and also Siesta Key. So nice. That kind of, kicks the door open for you. They want to hear more from you. I have a pretty extensive pop music catalog, and I'm not a good pop singer, I've tried, but my twang always comes out a little bit. So I just get other people to sing the stuff. And really, I would say that I did that because I thought that I had missed the boat. I was too late to the party. I wasn't going to be an attractive addition to the world of Americana. For whatever reason, whether those are my personal demons or my cultural demons, now I'm thinking I might get to do it. I might get to do my dream, and I might get to do just the one thing I want to do, and I might not have to split my energy 6-7 different ways to do it.
That's the dream in and of itself, right? Just being able to focus on what you do best, or what you feel you're meant to do, right?
Yeah, that's the dream.
Yeah.
And I don't need my dream to be, if my dream is 10 people in audience, that's fine for me.
As long as they're paying $1,000 a ticket, you're good.
Yeah, as long as I can just get some AC in the van.
That's awesome. Yeah, fun fact, Siesta Key is about an hour south of where I am in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Yeah, it's a little warm right now. But
How's it going with the co-row there? Are people starting to
the co-row, that's a new one for me.
That's my personal. It's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah, well, Florida's learned to wear its stupidity like a badge, right? I'm about to get a shirt that says Florida Man across the top. But we get good publicity from the Tiger King.
Oh yeah.
All those things are making this the destination of the 2020s.
That guy's an amazing songwriter. In his videos, like he's totally lip syncing to someone else's vocal. Like,
yeah.
For sure. Did you watch it?
No, that's the thing.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You can watch like the first 3 episodes, but then get out.
There's a thing I have about trying to avoid the things that bring out the worst in humanity.
I thought you were gonna say you have a thing about trying to avoid the thing that everyone's like into, which then you went like way high road, and just you guys surprised.
No, I am kind of a contrarian by nature, but I don't know, the sensationalist stuff, the way people were reacting to it kind of made me cringe. It was like, okay. I actually started watching the documentary of the news reporter guy that shot that, which was pretty fascinating, but it seemed like it was going down that same road. I'm like, I got out about half hour into it. I don't know that I've been accused of taking the high road too much, but yeah, there's just something about television in general that makes me cringe. But I'm all about Better Call Saul now, so who knows?
Oh, yeah. That's a good TV show. They've got some good like Americana on that, because that was the thing. Like, I kept pitching my country songs to film and TV people, and they were like, "That's never going to happen." And I'm like, "Well, when it does, I'm going to be there."
Yeah.
Better Call Saul, they've got some of that.
Thinking ahead, like to, maybe the next decade, 2030s, when we can tour again, are you thinking that there's a place for live streaming still, or will you be ready to kick it to the curb as soon as you possibly can?
I think like most things, there's going to be a hybrid.
Yeah.
It's been really cool to do some Zoom streams with some people in the UK. And, like little concerts inside little meetings. And that has been like one of the silver linings is if we all weren't stuck to our digital world, I wouldn't have met these people had I not set up the tour. Right. So now I'm really excited to set up the tour. Yeah. I think we'll start dialing in the sound, and that'll be getting better. But I'm thinking it'll be a hybrid, and I'm thinking that's good. The one thing that's hard about it is, for me, it is just not the same. The interaction, the beating hearts, the exchange between the audience and the artist, like that's the best feeling ever. And I haven't really been able to access that through this way. I mean, it's good to read the comments, and I still feel like I get to make a joke. Last night I made a good joke.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, okay, let me see if I can remember it. I was talking about healthy dating practices in COVID, and I said, I'm not doing that, but if you are, I hope you're wrapping it up. And by that, I mean your face. I don't know if anyone got that joke. I don't know if people are like, if they're like,
It's kind of meta. It's got that little meta level to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like I have an issue with watching a show and seeing the performer read the lyrics off of a music stand or off of an iPad. And to me, to the extent that you're playing, like if that iPad was not lyrics, but instead a camera that you're diverting your attention to, as an audience member, I get jealous. Like, it's like, no, I want you singing to me. not to the people on your iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a feeling that the combination, which of course is coming. I mean, we're not going to let this go. We're not going to develop a worldwide audience from home and then just leave them in the dirt.
Yeah.
Once we can tour again. But part of me I don't think it's going to be a graceful transition of working the live stream into the live shows. I mean, people are doing that now. If you go to a local bar that is actually a restaurant that's doing happy hour shows, the musicians all have their iPad shining up at them. And if they're not reading lyrics, they're usually, doing a Facebook Live type of thing.
Right.
So we can see up their shorts or up their nostrils.
Yeah, like that needs to get worked out.
Yeah. For a show, if I'm going to a concert, not just watching a happy hour dude, I'm going to have a problem with watching them play to the camera when I know it's not NBC. It's not.
Well, when you say NBC, do you mean when you know they're not watching the news?
No, if you're at a major show, you're at Live Aid or something like that, and they've got cameras out and they're shooting it for the world, and certainly Bruce Springsteen's gonna turn and wink at the camera at some point. That's okay. He gets a pass. He gets a pass. But independent touring artist playing a concert for me and constantly glancing at an iPad is irritating. I'm sorry.
A couple things come up for me on that. One is
I have issues.
Well, I'm glad you have those issues because sometimes I wonder if anyone cares about that anymore,
Yeah, maybe.
So have those issues. I hope that you always have them. I hope many people do. And then the other thing is I feel like in the live streams, I do things I would never do on stage. I'll play songs I don't know that well, and I might need the lyrics for it and you can kind of cheat because it's right there. But, we you're not supposed to play new songs at your concerts. You're supposed to know them and then play them. So there's been a lot of the quality of my show, I don't feel is as good as if I had prepared for a show,
Yeah.
However, because there will be a lot of hybrids, I was thinking some people just aren't ever going to want to leave the house again. They're going to realize that life is better when you just stay inside. So they buy a ticket. I don't know who would want to, unless you were agoraphobic or you were paralyzed. Then I would be going to live concerts on streaming. But as soon as we're allowed to get out again, the ratio will tip over to the live side a lot because it's just, it doesn't translate. Have you ever tried to watch a play on a video of a play?
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
It's horrible. I'm putting a disclaimer on all of my live streams from now on. Look.
Yeah.
This may appear way worse than it is in real life.
The blending of all the different types of media that we're sort of facing now. Everybody's become a broadcaster. Everybody's becoming a internet podcaster. Yeah. We're having to adapt, and there's going to be a lot of change over the next couple of years. But man, do I miss, having an audience member 5 feet from me.
Yeah.
And, worried about whether I
kill them.
Yeah. I was going to make a spittle joke, but the right words weren't coming up. So anyway, I think especially in our network, listening room network, there's just so many people that are most at risk in terms of demographics, baby boomers and seniors.
Oh, man.
And it's a super challenge for them to just even imagine right now going back out to shows. But we do have a percentage of folks in the network who are just making it happen one way. They're doing it outdoors and putting pairs of chairs 6 feet apart and encouraging people to wear masks and bring your own food and drink, and no sharing of food, and doing everything they can to create a safe space to use a cliche. And, you know, and that's working. You know, it's for me, I've always been a fan of indoor shows because of the added intimacy. Things tend to sound better indoors.
Sure.
But man, I've seen, you know, I did a show a couple months ago, and there's a woman who was just moved to tears just at the fact that she could go hear live music again. And so as an artist, even though we may not be 100% thrilled with the way we're having to present music, it's good to remember the impact that it still can have. Because once I wasn't really feeling it until I saw her, I was like, oh, okay, no, this is important. This is worth doing. It's worth doing imperfectly. Get out there, play your music, put a smile on somebody's face. So, you know, I'm hopeful, you know, the amount of change, the way society's, you know, changing so fast, and it seems to just be accelerating. We can't just like hope for things to slow down. Things aren't going to slow down. So I think for me, that actually makes me hopeful in the sense that who knows what can come about in the next few months to change our prospects for next year. Go ahead.
This reminds me of a fable.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you know that there are these men who live in these caves in the Himalayas, and they live to be like 500 years old, and they're like alive and human, but sometimes like if they get sick, they just like let their body sweat it out and they like go be a crow or something. So
I was not aware of that.
Okay, that's part one. So the whole reason that they say human beings die, expire, whatever, like the human body has the capability to sustain life for 500 years. But the reason why we die is because we aren't willing to adapt.
Okay.
Now, why did I say that? What does that have to do with anything you were saying? It's like, I hate Apple products, but I use them because they're easy, because I don't want to put the work in to figure out how to do. You're probably a Samsung person. No? Okay. But like, or my mother, for instance, she's like, I can't do it. I'm like, you can turn on the on button. You can educate yourself that much, you know? But like, that's the thing. Like, it's the fear of change, and it's the fear of technology. You know, I think we will survive this, and we will thrive if we can figure out, like you said, how to blend all of the different media and how to just adapt to the new way. It's all going to be in the adaptability.
Or we can just stay in our caves for 500 years.
Yeah, that would probably work too.
Oh, yeah, pretty soon. I mean, you know, VR, AR, all that stuff. You're just going to put on a helmet. If you're having a bad day, you just put on your helmet and your gloves, and you just, you know, go to Bali and pretend.
What's VR?
Virtual reality. Like you put on the goggles and like, hey,
sure.
I'm in outer space.
It makes me sad. It's like, even before this, like high school kids, they're like, I guess teenage pregnancy is like way down.
That's a bad thing, right?
They're not. You know, they're not. They're just, they don't even have conversations. They just take selfies with duck faces. And it just, you know, I'm like, they should be having sex. With each other.
You're 17. What are you doing inside? There's all these girls and boys out there. Yeah. You know, they don't even want to learn to drive anymore. So yeah, you and I should probably not be the moral arbiters of this world.
Probably not, but
well,
maybe there's way worse.
Yes. Speaking of worse, there are mermaids.
Oh yeah, they're terrible.
We have a mutual friend named Sarah Clanton, who I love dearly. And when I was thinking about launching this podcast a year ago, I recruited her, and I had this really ambitious goal for what I was going to do with this podcast. I was going to mix in like an album review, and she's got, you know, a really great record. And went to Nashville and just made an absolute mess of the production. And I was so disillusioned by the failure of that, what I was trying to do, that it's taken me 9 months to recover and start this thing back up again. But one of the interesting tidbits that came up chatting with Sarah is her mermaid hobby. And lo and behold, days ago maybe, I see Clanton in a mermaid outfit on Instagram. So she got to you. What did she do?
So
How did you get into the mermaid cult?
She might have you believing it's a hobby, but Sarah Clanton is a real live mermaid.
She's an actual mermaid.
Yeah, and she just puts on her human legs, to like walk around and do her meetings and stuff, and then she goes back and gets in the bath. So Sarah made me a mermaid. We had an induction ceremony. It was really easy. We just pulled a stick off the tree and she hit me in the head with it. And then all of a sudden I had a tail. And we actually, this giant duck, we had the same size in a unicorn. So, and then we put on our mermaid tails and floated down the Animas River. And I thought people would be more shocked, but most people here are really high or on acid, so it just seemed normal to see mermaids.
Now, is there a historical basis for the combination of mermaids and unicorns?
Or is that as a mermaid, as a new mermaid, because now I am a mermaid.
Yes.
And
you're a maid mermaid. You've been made a mermaid.
Yes, yeah. It is a miracle. So I'm still downloading, it's like what happens when you become a mermaid is like all of the information in the Akashic records like starts getting downloaded to you, and it's just so much information that I haven't actually gotten to unicorns yet.
Does it mean you don't have to practice your scales anymore?
Yeah, I would say you don't have to practice your scales as much when you're covered in them.
So are you hooked? Are you going to get multiple mermaid tails? Or are you going to start collecting them? Or
I just how should I say this? Ordered on Amazon.
Yeah.
Because that's everyone uses Amazon, even mermaids.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a glow in the dark mermaid tail.
Nice. Are they one size fits all, or do you have to get them like custom fitted?
I ordered a large because I was wearing Sarah's small before. So I ordered a large, and I got the pro fin. So
pro fin.
Really, so you can real swim real good in it.
So is there like a mermaid invitational race Sarah Clanton can put together and see who's got the professional tails?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. There probably is all of that. I was a little upset because now that I'm a mermaid, I know that there have been all of these mermaids the whole time and no one told me.
How far does it go? Like, are there like mermaid cocktails? Like how many rituals go into a mermaid gathering other than hitting each other on the head with a stick?
Yeah, well,
until a tail appears.
There's like dinner. So, that's seaweed. And actually we did go to dinner and Sarah had a salmon and I was horrified. I could not believe that she would eat her own kind.
Pescatarian.
Yeah.
Pescatarian.
She says when you're in legs, you have to act as if.
Got it.
Because otherwise the FBI.
But I was, like you said, you're stunned that there's a cohort in Nashville, which I guess is pretty amazing. But I was blown away that this was it's a major thing. Like,
did you know
there are clubs of mermaids all over the country? It could be like a musical audience, an untouched musical.
We're putting together our mermaid tour. We're gonna play plastic ukuleles.
Fantastic.
Did you know that there is like actually a subculture of probably like 20 to 50,000 people for anything you can think of? Like there's actually people who live in these communities as if it is the 1950s. Like they only use ketchup and mustard. Like they don't have relish yet.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. So, but I guess eventually you'll probably have like splinter groups. Like you'll probably start the vegan mermaid club, and Sarah will have the pescatarian mermaid club, and you guys will be like rival mermaid
Yeah.
gangs.
Yeah, we'll have softball tournaments.
That's fantastic. Well, Caitlin, we've not really had the chance to talk before. It's been delightful getting to know you a little bit.
Yeah, grateful.
And I think we will put this on YouTube as well as the podcast.
I hope that we got enough of your real questions answered.
These are all legit questions.
I'm excited to start playing music again, and thank you for having me as part of your network.
Yes, we look forward to seeing you in Florida. I'm sure that'll happen sometime next year. We'll make it happen.
I think so. And I think even if we have to do things outside, I'm sure we're all creative enough to crack the code. I'll bring my mermaid tail.
Sweet. You can swim with the manatees.
Yeah, you know, being a mermaid in Colorado, that wasn't a well thought out.
Awesome. Well, Caitlin, it's great to catch up with you. I'll send you follow-up links, and we will spread the gospel about your great music.
Thank you so much, Fran.
All right. Take care. Have a great day.
All right. You too.